Hey everyone, this is Famta. I'm back with another Linux tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how to dual boot Garuda Linux alongside with the Windows 10. So let's just start the tutorial. So the first thing that I'm going to do is install two things. One is the Garuda Linux ISO file, and the second one is the Rufus software, which I'm going to use to make the USB flash drive bootable. So yes, you're going to need a USB flash drive to dual boot. So make sure to have at least a 8 GB of USB flash drive while you're doing this dual boot. So let's just go to the browser and search for Garuda Linux and go to this page, which is garudalinux.org, and you can find the link in the description below as well. So here I'll just click on download. So here, as you can see, it says minimal requirements is 30 GB storage space and 4 GB of RAM, and recommendations are 40 GB of storage space and 8 GB of RAM. So even if you have 4 GB of RAM, you are good to go. So I'm going to scroll down here, and as you can see, there are a lot of desktop environments for this Linux distributions. There are like a lot. So there is KDE, and then there is XFCE, the GNOME, and there are a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install the KDE version because this looks kind of cool, themes and widgets. And also, if you are a KDE Plasma user, then you already know that it gives you a lot of customization settings and widgets and themes and a lot of stuff. That is why I'm gonna go for KDE version. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna download this one, which is download KDE Dragonized Edition, and there's another one which is download KDE Dragonized Gaming Edition. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to download this one from torrent, so I'm going to click on it. So the only reason I'm not downloading this one, and that is because this is around 4 GB, the ISO file, and this is around 2 GB. So this comes with more additional softwares, and so you can try that one if you have a powerful PC. So I could have installed this one, but again, the file size is a bit too large. So for the sake of this video only, I'm gonna download this one. So yeah, this is how you download the ISO file. So let me just show you quickly. It's showing me that I have already downloaded that. So yes, I have already downloaded the ISO file. So here it is, this one, 2.12 GB. So I'm downloading the second ISO file as well, which is the gaming edition. So this is gonna take some time to download. So that is why I'm not gonna use this ISO file for this tutorial. So I'm gonna go with this one. So basically the installation process is same for both, so no need to worry about that. Whichever edition you are downloading, you can just follow this tutorial and it will work. Okay, so once you have downloaded the ISO file, the next thing that you're gonna need is the Rufus software. So I'm gonna just type RUFUS rufus.ie. so this is the website to download Rufus. Don't worry, you can find the link in the description below. So I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to download the Rufus software by clicking on this latest version. Now I have already downloaded that one too, although the file size is not that big. So I have downloaded that too. So let's just proceed with the installation and show you the next step. So let's just close all of this, exit. Okay, so these are the two files that I've just downloaded. One is the ISO file and the second one is the Rufus software. Now all you have to do is just plug in your USB flash drive, 8 GB of USB flash drive, or above that 16 GB or 32 GB. Any of them would work just fine, but a minimum of 8 GB of storage you're gonna need to make your USB flash drive bootable. So I have plugged in my USB flash drive, which is this one, and I have used this USB flash drive before to install Linux Mint, so that is why it is showing me that Linux Mint 20 Cinnamon. So before I do anything, I'm going to just quickly format the USB flash drive. So let's just name it something. Okay, so let's just quickly format my USB flash drive. Okay, so now that I've done that, let's close it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on the Rufus software here. I'm going to run the software. And from here, I will select the ISO file this is the ISO file, so I'm going to select that one and make sure that it has detected your USB flash drive. So this is the one, this 8 GB USB flash drive that I have plugged in into the PC's USB port. So if it doesn't show the USB flash drive, then try plugging it out of your USB port and plug it in again, then run the Rufus software again and it will detect your USB flash drive. So once I've done that, I have selected the ISO file and the USB flash drive is selected, and there are basically nothing here that you have to change. So I'm going to just click on start and click on OK, and this is going to take a few minutes, so let's just wait for this to finish. Now guys, if you're new to this channel, I would really appreciate if you give it a like and subscribe. That would really help me. This is the only way to support me, support my work. I would really appreciate that. And even if you don't, that is alright, no worry. But if you do, that will be much appreciated. Okay, so while it is doing its job, let's just go to the disk partition. So here what I'm going to do is I'm gonna separate 50 GB of storage from my hard disk, because I'm gonna use that 50 GB of storage to install the Garuda Linux. So from here, as you can see, there are a lot of partitions over here. So you have to be very careful when you are creating a new partition, because you don't want to ruin your existing Windows 10. So make sure that you do not touch these partitions where Windows is installed. So as you can see, it says recovery partition and then EFI system partition, then this one NTFS. So basically these are the partitions that you should not be touching, especially the EFI partition and the recovery partition and the partition where the Windows is installed. Usually it is the C drive where most of the computers have the Windows installed, so we are not going to touch the C drive. What we're going to do is, by the way, there are these 3 partitions here as well. You might be a little bit confused. These are basically where I have installed Linux Mint. So yes, I have Linux Mint on this computer installed as well alongside with the Windows 10. But for your computer, you're not gonna have the Linux Mint over here. So for your computer, it's gonna be a bit more clean. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select the D drive here where my Windows is not installed. This is basically the data drive where everyone saves their data and there are no softwares installed on this drive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and click on shrink volume, and from here I will type 50 gigabytes and I'm going to click on shrink. By the way, my USB flash drive is ready, so I'm going to close it. Okay guys, so as you can see, I have successfully created a new partition, which is this one, 48.83 GB. So this is the new storage, the new partition that I'm going to use to install the Garuda Linux. So let's just close the window and our work is basically done here. So I'm gonna just quickly restart my computer, and remember one thing, and that is you should have your USB flash drive plugged in. So I'm gonna just quickly restart my computer and show you the next step of installing Garuda Linux. Okay guys, so I'm gonna restart my computer. So let's restart, and while this is restarting, I'm gonna keep pressing on F12. Now this is gonna bring me the boot menu. So for your computer, it can be F2, F10 or F12. This is gonna be between these 3 keys on your keyboard. So I just kept pressing F12. So for your computer, it can be F2, F10 or F12 or the ESC button, I mean the key on your keyboard. So yeah, we are at the boot menu. So from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna choose the pen drive, which is this one. For me, it's this one. So let me just zoom in a little bit so that you can see it more clearly. This is my USB flash drive. Now you might be wondering why there are 2 USB flash drives with the same name. You might have also noticed the difference, and that is one for UEFI. So this is the BIOS mode. So my computer is UEFI, so that is why it is showing me these 2 options. So I'm going to choose the UEFI. So for your computer, if the BIOS mode is UEFI, then you're gonna have the option as well of booting from UEFI. So you're gonna choose that one. And if you don't have the UEFI BIOS mode, then you're not gonna have this option to begin with. But still, I'm gonna show you how to check which BIOS mode your computer is using right now. So you're gonna go to the enter setup, and from here, this is basically how a UEFI interface looks like. So this is gonna look like a bit advanced than the older BIOS mode. You're gonna have a mouse cursor and the interface is gonna look something like this, a bit more advanced. And if you have a BIOS mode, then you're gonna have like a blue interface, everything is blue. You're not gonna be able to use the cursor as well. You're gonna have to adjust the settings using your keyboard only. So this is a way to check which BIOS mode your computer is using. So I'm gonna exit it and I'm gonna keep pressing F12 again to bring up the boot menu. Once I'm at the boot menu, I'm gonna choose the USB flash drive, and this is it. This is the Garuda interface. So I'm gonna select this one, press enter. So basically, as you can see, this is a very beautiful looking distro. Even the login screen looks pretty cool. So currently it is booting to the Garuda Linux. Hey guys, so as you can see, we are in Garuda Linux right now. Now I cannot screen record my desktop screen right now because I haven't installed the Garuda Linux yet, and that's why I'm recording this with my camera. But once I've installed the Garuda Linux, I'm gonna screen record it and show you the interface, and then this is gonna look pretty. So from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on install Garuda Linux. So let me just zoom in a little bit so that you can see a bit more clearly. Okay, so I'm gonna click on next and click on next again, click on next. Now guys, this is the important part because this is the partitioning window, and you don't want to mess up anything because you already have Windows 10 installed. So let's just be careful here. So I'm going to select manual partitioning. So there are these other options as well. So install alongside, replace a partition, and erase disk, which is very dangerous while you're installing it alongside with the Windows 10, because this will erase your hard disk and there will be no Windows 10 left. So from here, what you're gonna do is click on this one, manual partitioning. So I'm gonna choose that one and click on next. And this is the window where I'm gonna be doing a little bit of tweaking. So I'm gonna use that 50 GB of partition that I have created a few minutes ago and create a few partitions out of that 50 GB of storage. So what I'm going to do is I will select this free space. So as you can see, this is the 50 GB of storage that I have created a few minutes ago in my disk partition in Windows 10. So this is the storage that I'm going to select. So you're going to have to be very careful when you're selecting your disk here. As you can see, there is another one as well, although this is just 73 megabytes. Still, just check the size of the disk. So this is the 50 GB. So this is the one. I'm going to select this one and I'm going to click on create, and I'm going to put 512 here, and then I'm going to select FAT32, and then the mount point is going to be this one, and I'm going to select boot over here, and I'm going to click on OK. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to select the free space again, and I'm going to click on create again, and this time I'm going to put 8000 megabytes, which is 8 gigabytes. So why I typed 8 gigabytes, and that is because my computer have 8 GB of RAM installed right now. So basically you have to put your RAM over here. So if you have 4 GB of RAM, then you're going to put 4 GB over here, which means 4000 megabytes. Once I've done that, I'm going to select Linux swap, and then I'm gonna scroll down and select swap over here as well, and I will click OK. So I've created two partitions. As you can see, this is the one and this is the second one, and I'm gonna click on free space again, and I'm gonna click on create, and this time I'm gonna change nothing. I'm gonna leave everything here as it is, and next I will select the file system as ext4, and the mount point is gonna be this, and root, and I'm gonna click on OK. So I have created all the partitions. These are the three partitions. So this is the root, this is the boot, and this is the swap partition, and I'm gonna click on next, and I'm gonna type a name. Okay, so let's just change the computer name and a password, and I'm gonna select use the same password for the administrator account and select that one. Okay, so I'm gonna click on next and make sure that every partition is selected properly. So I will recommend that you double check everything before you click on install, because safety first. And yes, of course, before you click on install, and I will recommend that you transfer all of your important files from Windows before you do this, because if you're dual booting for the first time, then it is gonna be a wise thing to do to have your backup, all of your important files backed up. Basically, what you have to do is just back up all of your important files from Windows and then do this dual installation process, because you don't want to do anything wrong. I'm not doing this for the first time, that is why I'm not gonna destroy my Windows or anything. So for you, if you're doing this for the first time, then I would recommend that you take all of your important files from Windows and store it in a different place before you do this dual boot. And if you did everything perfectly and double checked everything, then you're good to go and you can just click on install. So yes, I'm gonna click on install. I'm gonna click on install now. Okay, so it says all done. So I'm gonna restart now. So I'm gonna click on restart and click on done, and this is it. As you can see, this is the interface and it is already booting. Okay, so this looks pretty nice. So let's just quickly log in. So I'm gonna type my password and click login. Okay, so this is it. So I can just show you this now using the screen recorder. So let's just go to the screen recorder, but before that, let me just quickly restart the computer again and show you the login screen, I mean the boot menu. So let's just quickly do that. So I'm gonna restart. Okay guys, so as you can see, it is showing Windows bootloader and Linux means, because I have these two other operating systems installed on my computer as well. So let me just zoom in a little bit and show you. So as you can see, these are the three operating systems that I have installed. If you have installed only Garuda and Windows 10, then you're gonna have these only two options. One is Garuda and second one is this one. And sorry, not this one. This is the one, Windows Boot Manager. So this is the one for Windows. So let me just quickly select the Windows and show you that my Windows is still in one piece. I mean, Windows is working fine. So let me just quickly show you. So I'm gonna select Windows and just quickly log into my Windows just to show you that the dual boot was a success. Once I have done that, I will go back to Garuda and show you the interface, the amazing interface, which looks very cool. So as you can see, this is our Windows. As you all know, this is our Windows, and as you can see, this is still working. So this was a success. So I'm gonna quickly restart and select Garuda. Can you all just agree that how beautiful this login screen is? This is very cool. So I'm gonna type my password. So let's go to the screen recorder and show you more. So guys, as you can see, we are in Garuda Linux right now, and this looks pretty good. As you can see, this is pretty cool. And the windows have this kind of wobbly kind of effects, which is very cool. And if you notice that if I open a window, then the background gets blurry, and this is actually pretty cool, I guess. As you can see, the background is clear, and if I open a window, the background has this blurry kind of effect, which is actually very cool, and the animations are very smooth. So we can go to settings and go to system settings, and and from here you can change the themes if you want, but the default theme is already pretty awesome. So this already looks pretty awesome, but if you still want to change, you can do that, because this KDE, you can go to get new global themes and you can select like a ton of themes. Like there are like a lot of themes, which is actually pretty cool. So this is the good part about using the KDE desktop. So yeah, the animations looks very good. So this is it, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you like this video, and if you did, then you can give it a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that, and I will see you in the next video. And also, before I go, I just want to tell you that if you have any suggestions that you want to see videos or tutorial, if you want to see a tutorial on a particular topic, then let me know in the comment section below. I will try to make videos on that topic. So yeah, this is it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.